Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to English Corner. Today we'll talk about a very important issue, elements of academic writing. Academic writing is a very important issue for students, particularly students who are studying at undergraduate or postgraduate level. It's a common complaint of the teachers, working teachers, that the writings or the academic essays, examination papers of the most of the students do not have the qualities of writing or elements of an academic essay. They lack what they are asked about. For example, a student is asked to write about the differences between two characters, and they write about the plot or write about the story of a literary piece. In examination paper, students' academic writing is found very poor, and in most cases they lack many of the elements of academic writing. Indeed, academic writing is very formal, structured, and there should be an order of presentation of the things for answering the question. So, this is important that all the students understand the elements of academic writing and accordingly they practice it in their writing. Important things to consider when we talk about academic writing. Academic writing is very formal, and you are writing in a very formal situation. That is why you have to choose words or diction very carefully. Remember, you are writing for your teacher or professor or the refined readers who are supposed to already know about what you are writing about. Academic writing is thesis driven, that at the beginning of a writing or an essay, an academic essay, you express a standpoint, you express an idea, a basic idea, a general idea, which you want to develop in the structure of the writing. And it has to be logical and argumentative, which will support your thesis and explain your standpoint. So you should show evidences for proving what you have said at the beginning of your essay. Your essay should express a tone or position. So regarding the topic, regarding the ideas expressed in the topic, you take a stand. You can support it, you can denounce it, you can negatively look at it, or you can have some mixed feelings towards the idea. It must be cohesive. All the parts are connected to form a unified whole. There should be a narrative links between sentences and paragraphs, and the information that you have collected from different sources. So all the sources should be cited or should be given reference. Elements of academic writing. Indeed, there are several elements, and we can identify at least 10 to 12, but some of them are overlapping. But we will talk about some of them, the most important ones. The first one is thesis, second one is motive, third one is evidence, then analysis, then key terms, structure, orientation, cohesion and unity, reflection, sources, tone and stance, and finally style. Okay, let us talk about each of them in detail. Thesis or thesis statement. I'm sure that you know how to write a paragraph, and in paragraph you have a topic sentence which expresses the general idea to be developed in the paragraph. In academic writing, normally we consider that it should be an essay and in an essay, like the topic sentence of a paragraph, you have a thesis statement. Thesis statement is the main insight or the main idea that you want to express, you want to prove, you want to express, and you want to show evidence for. Main proposition the essay will demonstrate. So thesis statement is the main proposition that will be demonstrated in that essay. It is not absolutely true, or it has not to be absolutely true, or but true to the text under study. It has nothing to do with, say, factual life, but at least it is true to the writing or the study you are considering. At least it should be true to what you will say or what you are studying now. It should not be too narrow. It should be of considerable length, so that you can explain it with some aspects, with some dimensions. Or it should not be too general, which can be generalized. Rather, it should be specific, of course, but not narrow. This is expressed through some keywords, and in each topic sentence or thesis statement you have some keywords, and each keyword indeed stands for an idea or a number of keywords, or the keywords you have in the thesis statement stand for a particular idea, and you are going to explain those keywords in your essay. It has two characteristics. It states the topic. That is, the thesis statement has two characteristics. It states the topic, what you are writing about, and it has the controlling idea, and it will control what you will be talking about and what would be the perimeter of your writing or your speaking or your say the purview of your boundary of your discussion. Second one is motive, the intellectual domain or dimension for the topic and the thesis. It offers why someone, even the teacher, should feel interested in reading the essay you are writing. Why the thesis is not a commonplace or repeated idea, but it has something new. It presents a new idea. Your arguments are idiosyncratic, odd, or queer. Your thesis is stated in the first paragraph, so you should have a kind of motive which is stated in the first paragraph, so that it means you are speaking or you are writing about something that is interesting to the readers, the targeted readers. Evidence. It means the data or facts, examples or details that you refer to, quote, or summarize to support your thesis. Sufficient evidence, and the evidence should be persuasive, argumentative, and of course convincing. It should be proper or suitable to support the thesis, but at the same time it should not be abstract. It should be concrete, comprehensible for the reader, so that it feels believable to them. It is stated clearly using proper diction. Next item is analysis. Analysis is nothing but breaking down the data or the information you are using to support the statement. So you are interpreting the data and you are commenting on the data as well. And it presents inference which support the thesis. It is not only observing or summarizing the data. Remember how different parts together make the motive a valid one. So you are analyzing different parts or different data which can together validate your motive. It should draw out the significance or implication of the ideas inherent which can prove the standpoint. So it should be relevant and it should be inherent so that it can prove your standpoint. The analysis should not be superficial, rather it should be grounded on the presented data. So you talk about only the data, which are, data means information. If it is essay, it's a literature essay. So you are talking about the plot, the characters, the ideas expressed in the plot of the novel or some literary piece. But it should be, your analysis should be based on the data that you are presenting. So you should talk about only those things that you have data for in your writing. Key terms. The recurring terms are basic oppositions that you are going to use in your writing. Key terms should be such on which the arguments will rest. They imply certain assumptions unstated about the topic being dealt with. They should be clear in meaning, relevant, and appear throughout the essay. So throughout the essay you have different dimensions of the key terms. Key terms should not be cliches, which are too much, which have been used too much. Rather it should have some newness. And as well, key terms should not be abstract. It should be concrete, it should be comprehensible. Key terms should bear logical inspection. It may be arguable, but that should be explicitly acknowledged. Next element is structure. The sequence of main sections or subtopics. The data or the information that you present should be presented sequentially in order. There should be transition from one section or topic to another. These sections should come in a logical order. The links between them should be clear. It can be progressive in order. That is, it can be, say, less important is stated earlier and then more important and the most important, etc. Or you can go, of course, in opposite dimension. It should follow a certain development direction. For example, trivial to serious or easy to complicated, less important to more important, etc. The order should allow the writer to explore the topic, not just hammer home a thesis. If the essay is complex or long, its structure may be briefly announced or hinted at after the thesis in a roadmap or plan sentence. Normally we follow it for a longer essay. Next element is cohesion and unity. It refers to stitching the arguments. Use transition or linking words as signposts to indicate how a new section, paragraph, or sentence follows from one immediately previous. There is nothing new, everything emerges from the previous one. They refer to an earlier idea, that is, a new point refers to an earlier idea or part of the essay, using explicit statement or by repeating or using synonym keywords. When you start a new section or ideas, you can repeat the key concepts, preferably indirectly, to show how the new section connects to the thesis. In a paragraph, for example, discuss only one aspect or theme or characteristic. Next element is reflection. In reflective or show importance or show impact types of essay, you may have to reflect on thesis or arguments to answer. Defining the terms, any new concept added, they should be stated in the first part. Is there any counter argument? Then how do you refute that? So you should answer this argument or refute those arguments earlier. So what? Why that is right or wrong? So why is your opinion right or wrong? Or why are you proposing a new idea? And whether your idea is right or wrong. and what is the cause of your idea being right and the previous ideas or the idea that you are going to refute is wrong. And of course, what is the implication of your idea, and normally we state it in our conclusion. Sources. The sources mean the information or data that you have collected from, and the sources need to be efficiently integrated and fairly acknowledged by citation. So you should give acknowledgement for data or information, opinions or interpretation, as well as quotations. Okay. Next element is tone and stance. Stance is the implied relationship of you, the writer, to your readers and subject. How and where you implicitly position yourself as an analyst. Stance has some features. Style and tone. It can be formal, informal, it can be very familiar. The presence or absence of specialized language and knowledge. The amount of time spent orienting a general, non-expert reader. The use of scholarly conventions of form and style. So you should use this to express your stance. Your stance should be established within the first few paragraphs of your essay, and it should remain consistent. Once you say that this is your tone, say you neglect something, you are having a negative idea about something, so you should continue having this tone throughout your essay. If you want to express something opposite, of course you should come up with real proof, evidence. Style. The choices you make of words and sentence structure. Your style should be exact and clear. That is, it should bring out the main idea. It should support the thesis statement. Style should be plain without being flat, and it should be graceful. That is, it attracts the readers to read the essay. They do not feel it does not feel very cumbersome, and they feel it easy to go from one chapter or one section to another. Of course, it should be a little interesting, and it should not be stuffy. It is not heavy with a lot of information. So that is all about elements of academic writing. And if you want to summarize, an academic essay should be very formal. Remember, you are writing for your professor. Remember, you are writing for somebody who already knows a lot about the issue you are writing. So you should be very formal. Your writing should be disciplined, orderly, consistent. It should have a thesis statement, and that statement or idea or your stance should be proved with proper evidence. And I'm sure that you have understood the other elements and try to practice them in your writing, and hope that you will have a good scoring with your academic writing. Thank you very much for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.